Aquarius, hey, thanks for dropping in with me. We are here to do your dive into the collective energy that is Aquarius and just see what's coming in here for you all in this gateway of transformation season that we are now entered into Leo season. We've been getting a lot of downloads for months that this was going to be a game-changing season here. So we're just seeing what wants to come in for you. This is for any significant Aquarius placement, or if you happen to have a prominent placement in the 11th house. Also, if you are a Leo rising, you are an Aquarius descendant, and you may find resonance with this read. I do pick up for Aquarius in general. A lot of you are dealing with Leos. Even if you're not a Leo rising, I think that the Leos in your life are front and center this season. There may be past matters that you need to clean up. These past matters may need to be cleaned up in order for you to be able to move forward. For some of you, this could be in order to be able to move forward from a particular responsibility too. This could be a job. This could be moving in terms of moving house as well, okay? But there's something that you need to deal with that has its roots in the past, and it's going to require some strength of you. I also got a really interesting message coming in for your sign, and that was opulence. And then I heard age of opulence, and it made me think of the times we're moving through right now in the age of the Kali Yuga. So I feel like this portion is really about the expansion we're collectively moving into and speaks to the collective, that the age of opulence is coming to an end. And for those who aren't familiar with the word opulence and what that means, it means ostentatiously rich, luxurious, or lavish. It's another way, a pretentious way, you can say, or a showy way, or what we would say nowadays as Riz. You know, it's a way to up the Riz factor, up the charisma, come off with a certain appearance or a certain level of status, something like this. I feel like where that is going on in society, like it's really reaching the end of its rope, like something is being hung up here, like the hanged man in tarot. It's like we're at a certain juncture where we can't continue to move forward like that, where those inequities are almost like put on display. I think there's a lot that's balancing out here in relation to the South Node and what's going on in Libra right now, and that this will definitely be playing out as we move through this year of transformation, because once we're done with this year, by this time next year, we'll be moving into the age of Aquarius. So I think this is sort of like the template that's being set right now. You could be dealing with somebody in your life who's operating in this way. They may be coming off really showy. They may be flashing what they have. They may be rubbing it in your face. They may be in some way, shape, or form trying to put you in your place, but it's based on superficialities like status or their income bracket or certain privileges they have. Okay, you may be dealing with a situation like this. You may be having some level up in your life, and maybe you've had to do without for a long time, and so you kind of want to showboat a little bit. This is possible. I feel like this is coming through more for those who have a strong Leo placement, or you're a Leo rising, making you an Aquarius descendant. I feel like this energy is really coming forward from the more Leo side of things, all right? And it's definitely coming into play because you got a full moon in Aquarius going down on the 19th this month, okay? So it's interesting. It's like your energy is really there in tandem. Yeah, there's something you need strength to close cycle on here, I feel, with the lilies in reverse. There's like something that you know it's not good for you. You know you should have brought this to a close a long time ago. But maybe for some kind of opulence, just to lavish in it, you know, in the pure just fulfillment, enjoyment, hedonism of it, you may have been reticent to let this go, even though you know that it's causing problems in your life, even though you know maybe it's a little Neptunian, Maybe it's a little bit fantasy. Maybe it's a bit of smoke and mirrors. We have 23 in reverse. That's the force of chaos. 23, it's also rapid change, but this is something that brings chaos into one's life. It could even be a way of just like checking out. You know, this could be somebody living in such a way where they're projecting an image that they're really like wealthy, well off, and so they kind of go into debt getting stuff to show off, or, you know, presenting a false image on social media. Ooh, I think that's coming through a lot in this regard. You could be dealing with somebody like this. You could be, you know, in this position maybe because you feel like somebody is laying it on real thick, and almost in order to be able to, you know, edge out the competition. I just heard you feel like you have to like have more. There's something that's being misunderstood here, I think, because whatever this is, it's something that's actually cutting off potential growth and magic that wants to come into your life. Okay, interesting. There's also this piece coming in here, Aquarius, about think of opulence in a new way. You know, this is reclaiming opulence. Oh, okay. Let's see what's coming in here for you. I want to get an overarching theme of this season for you. Ooh, okay. There's an important message coming in here. Yeah, things are a little, it's kind of like a little messy on that shuffle, but we have an important message coming in here. Might come in around the 16th, just a few days before your full moon. Okay, or you could be sending something off to somebody. I do feel like this is something that feels directed by spirit, or when you receive this message, it's a little bit of synchronicity. You know, you can feel that there's some mysterious force operating here. Maybe you feel like it's a stroke of good luck. Okay, what do we got crossing here? Oh, okay. Well, this is somebody who wants to turn something around. Again, 15th, okay, there could be something going down. There's actually important conjunctions going down, I believe, on both the 15th and the 16th, okay? That's when there's some news that comes in. I see. So I feel that there's this news that comes in on the 16th, okay? In relation to maybe some news that you sent out, okay? So you might be like reaching out to somebody, maybe somebody that you've had an argument with, or you've been in a fight with, or they're reaching out to you. This could be somebody who maybe parties too much, or somebody who has a lot of instability in their life. This could be somebody who's been kind of couch surfing. It's got these vibes, okay? 10 says yes. Somebody who's just had a lot of unpredictability going on in their life, a lot of upheaval potentially, okay? I feel like you had some kind of conflict with this person, or this person's been dealing with some conflicts in their lives. Somebody in this picture could have an issue with alcohol or just partying too much. I just say that with the blender. I also feel there's been a lot of change in this situation. I think there's been some arguments in this situation that, you know, could be related to confusion or something that's been stirred up in this situation as well. I do feel somebody is receiving communication here, probably sometime around the 15th, and it has them looking at things in a new way. Maybe it clears up some kind of confusion. Maybe it gives some clarity where clarity's been lacking. It might also calm a particular storm, you know, get you looking at things in a new way. I feel like somebody wants to get beyond the chaos. They want to get beyond the storm. They want to find a way through, calm things down a little bit in this situation. Okay. This could also be that somebody did kind of take what you said to them to heart. They went into some kind of recovery process or did something to address their behavior. Okay. And they might want to communicate with you. I got making amends in some cases for those who were in recovery. This might be part of their healing process, with this energy coming through here, right? So this news comes in, and the desire is to get beyond some argument, get beyond something that's causing disruption, confusion, fighting, you know, instability, and get to the other side. And I think by the 16th, I mean, I think at first when this comes in, it really does like maybe lift up your spirits. It does suddenly like discharge a lot of energy, I feel, whether you're the one who's communicating this, because I am noticing blockage coming up right now in the throat. So you may feel like you need to issue a certain communication, but you might not know the best way to go about it. You don't want to bring further upheaval. You may know that you're approaching somebody who's really sensitive and you don't want to ruffle their feathers anymore. You're really looking to create some kind of grounding in this situation. If you're the one issuing this communication, I think that as soon as you issue the communication, whether it's through a text or you're sending snail mail, whatever it may be, however you're reaching out, I think you instantly feel a sense of relief. It's like it releases the pressure valve. And maybe you realize this is why you felt so at rest or so so confused, or just having an ability to even just feel a sense of like focus. You know, I think maybe your mind has been very active. I'm picking that up. For some of you, you may have been numbing that out, you know, by wanting to just maybe just go out party, you know, throw back some drinks, commiserate with some people about what you're dealing with, or you could be dealing with somebody who's in that space. I feel like it instantly relieves the pressure. Okay. So if there's something here that gives hope where there wasn't hope before, but there's almost like, I feel like a communication is issued, but there's a pause before somebody gets back. And that may cause you to like worry or think up worst case scenarios or them on the other side. This is like a mirroring situation. Okay. And I feel like there's nothing to worry about. All right. You will hear from this person, or they will like what they hear from you. But whatever goes down the following day, I feel there's like a 24-hour window here. There's something practical that's put in place. This may be the initial inspiration, like, I got to reach out to this person, you know? And so there might be like this strong urge to reach out to somebody, or somebody may have a strong urge to reach out to you. Okay. But their approach is very careful. They're being very mindful of activating further like upheaval. This person's afraid of there being further upheaval or arguments by them reaching out. They're taking a risk here, all right? But I think the response will be warm, all right? And there's something here that comes through that gives hope, and also a practical way of moving forward into the future. And it was 1313 when I dropped in on that 4-4. There's a lot of power in taking this action, I have to say, and beyond it bringing in a certain level of power to activate change in your life, whoever's issuing this communication, there's something that comes in here that was meant to like come into sync. It was meant to come into alignment. And there's a sense of loyalty here, maybe a loyalty to one another in this regard, to work through things, to work through these challenges. Yeah, I see it opening up a brand new chapter here with the spaceship. Again, 7 energy coming in. So we got double 7s here. We know it's progressive, right? Because it goes from the 15 to the 16, right? So there's growth here. There's further development here. There's something that comes in initially through this communication that it finally feels like there's like reciprocal flow here, or maybe there's investment of both parties where that was missing before. And it brings about a lucky turn of things where maybe you thought things were really heading south, or you're like, there's no way to redeem this. It turns something around. It could be in relation to clearing up some confusion that spread like it spread like a tornado. You know what I'm saying? It stirred everything up. It made people feel like maybe I wasn't heading in the right direction. Maybe I had the wrong idea back there, I have to say. I think it was caused by word that spread really fast, you know, and you know how that goes with the telephone game. Everybody makes up their own versions, and then everything's lost in translation. You've been sitting here trying to figure it out like it's Morse code. And you've also been kind of feeling, you know, a little bit insecure, okay, about moving forward with something. You may have had your hackles up. You may be guarding yourself, protecting yourself. This could be for many different reasons. Okay, you could have suffered some real losses, something that like rocked your stability. This could have been fallout with a person that, you know, this person's like your grounding cord. You know, this person is somebody that's really important to you. So having this, you know, have a rift, it's caused a lot of disruption in your life. Some of you, this was, you know, disruption caused by looking at a situation where either you or a loved one was struggling with an addiction, and what was required. There might have been tough love required in that case. There may have been somebody who you had to walk away from because you were just like, I can't be connected to this. This is going to drag me down. And you may have really struggled with that decision, but you made the right choice, because by you walking away, this person took accountability. I see that. There's some kind of stabilization here. Whatever happened, whatever causes upheaval in this rift, the communication that's issued does balance things out. Does balance things out and allows you to get the coordinates. Okay, so I do feel like maybe, you know, somebody's thinking of sending this message sometime around new moon, sometime around the Leo new moon that comes in on the 4th. I feel like by your full moon on the 19th, Aquarius, there is some kind of reciprocation here after this, like, you know, communication is exchanged, that sort of sets up a new vision for moving forward into the future, what that looks like. It's like it gets you on track with your North Node. And there's some culmination point that comes with the full moon in September after that, okay? And that'll be right around the time that there is the, it's a lunar eclipse in North Node Aries, okay? That'll be coming in September. I think it's like late September, right before it enters into Libra season. All right, so there's something that comes in there that's like a culmination point, okay? And it very well could have to do with balancing something out in a really important relationship, healing a relationship, renewing commitment to a relationship where maybe you thought there was nothing that could be recovered there. Okay, there could be a Leo factoring into your situation. It's possible. But we got a lot of bless up energy here. Double sevens, that's a power number for you. So 7 in general. But especially when they come in pairs, then you'll know that this is about to sync up for you. What's the crossing energy here? Yes, look. We got lightning again, 7. Wow. Oh, this is wild. Okay, triple sevens. Okay, it's like jackpot energy. This has been coming in. You may have thought that you totally crapped out at the game of life, and you didn't. It's jackpot energy. There's this energy here where, you know, there's something you're getting clear on where there was confusion, and that changes everything. And it changes your approach. And maybe there's either you or somebody on the other side of the table here where there's been some kind of major falling out rift. You're starting to see things eye to eye, and where you thought there was going to be this tower, something was going to cause irreparable damage, it actually has the opposite effect. It's actually something that, you know, gets you moving, I feel, you know? It's looking at something in a new way, and suddenly you have a whole different perspective of the situation. Wild. Okay, so where you're feeling like a tower might be coming, or that, you know, if you reach out, there's going to be, you know, some kind of further argument or fallout there, or where the other is feeling that about you. I feel like whoever this is, you'll welcome the illumination, the communication. I think you'll both be appreciative of it. All right, let me do a cut of the deck here, see what we got. Yeah, it's a key that opens up the door to your future, right? So this is your gateway of transformation coming in here, 24 energy. You could be dealing with a life path 6. The 24th could be really important. There could have been something that highlighted the possibility of stepping through this door on the 24th that we just passed through here, maybe a few days after full moon that we just had in Capricorn, that mirror moon. That was the first gateway of initiation. So maybe as you were preparing to step through that gateway, there was something that was illuminated to you. Maybe something about having different options, different doors you could open, trying to be very mindful about the door you open, wondering if you should open this door. Should I use the front door? Should I use the back door? Should I use the side door? What key is going to open this door? Okay, it's possible. 6 energy, this is some vision coming into view. You do got the keys. You got all the keys. 2044 on the clock, okay? You don't need no 2020 vision. It's almost like a Back to the Future moment. You can already see the writing on the wall if you don't step through a particular door, I feel, okay? Look at this. Again, alignment. Look at your energy. There's 6 again. Look at all this mirroring energy. This is somebody you're coming into alignment with. This is like soulmate energy. It's also soul family with the spaceship that came in. 2111 on the clock, okay? You got people who are helping you out with this too. You got angels on the outfield. This is you coming into alignment with your soul family. So there's new people that are coming into your life. There may be some people that you're releasing. But I do feel like where there was one connection released, and it was released in some kind of turmoil, upheaval, chaos, anger, aggression, fallout, addiction, any of these issues could be playing a role. There was some major storm that ripped through a relationship and tore two apart, okay? I do feel like there's opportunity for alignment and healing here. We got the 6 energy amplified there, exemplified there again. I almost want to say amplified. So 6 amplified, all right? Maybe the 2 of you coming together really activates a particular vision. It takes 2 to bring this vision into fruition. And this person does feel like kindred to you. For some of you, it's healing a family rift, okay? It could be a soul family rift, all right? And there's cycles to this, all right? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. I feel by, September, this looks a lot different because the 6th house is the house of Virgo, okay? So I feel by that full moon in September, around that North Node lunar eclipse energy, this will come to some kind of activation point for that vision. I feel like that's when the vision gets activated. Maybe there's even travel to connect with a particular person, or that's when you see the expansion on the path that you invested in. There's also some kind of healing. There's some kind of new perspective where the waters were really churned up. They're now crystal clear. You see with clarity. Your instincts are on lock. You know what to do. There's like a synergy that happens here. There could be travel connected with it to some kind of tropical place. Southern California, I got coming in here. I got Rio coming in here. Her name is Rio. Okay, some Duran coming in here. There might be a clue around that. All right. Hawaii. All right. Distant shores. I heard distant shores. So that's a clue for someone there. We got the wolf energy in the background, howling at the moon. So I feel like this is really just trusting your instincts about where to go. Something's illuminated for you at that time that you couldn't see before. I feel like this gets dialed in. If you shoot for the moon, you're going to hit that shot, There's something here too that I feel like it evokes more of your kind of feral, wild nature. Like you have to take a risk for this. You have to take a risk for this. Okay, you could be dealing with somebody born in the year of the serpent, or you could be dealing with a Scorpio. You could be dealing with a Pisces or somebody born in the year of the dog. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius or someone born in the year of the horse. You could be dealing with a life path number 6. And I just heard in some cases, you could be dealing with all of the above. And it's up to you to sort the wheat from the chaff and to figure out how this thing comes together, what that looks like for you, and maybe for 2 visions to get on the same page, okay? Maybe that's been the problem, I would say. And so a blockage wanted to come in, okay? Maybe that's where there's been the problem. That's the key that's been missing, a vision that can be shared, okay? Can't be all about one person's way. I just heard that. All right, what do I want to bring in here? Let's do some tarot, straight up tarot for you, okay? Wait, before I do that, let's see what needs to be transmuted in this situation. We know there's protection here, okay? So it might be kind of scary territory, but the fears might be more built up in your head than they are anything to really worry about. This could be like smoke and mirrors from the past. You know, places in the past where you didn't feel safe opening up or you didn't feel safe trusting. This could be a little bit of trauma bonding. You could be mirroring stuff to each other, right? So there's something here about overcoming illusions and feeling like maybe the right kind of space is being created to work out a conflict. Maybe that's what's been missing. I heard protective order, so maybe there is, for some of you, a situation where there does need to be like a protective order put in place where somebody's acting a little out of pocket. This could be in relation to addiction in some cases, I have to say, okay? If you are dealing with a situation like that, it is coming through. So I do want to speak to it. Do pay attention to your own intuition and listening to these downloads, okay? Because you have to remember it's for the collective. So there's many different messages that come through. You'll know which ones are speaking to you, okay? So let's see what's coming in here. The underworld where all things pause and begin again. Yes, so I do feel like there's something really heavy that you've been integrating here, and it very well could have involved a real deep dive into the subconscious. You might have been doing some really intensive healing work. Some of you have been working through that, like you've been working on a spiritual level through that, you know? You've been really alchemizing this energy. You've been doing your shadow work, and you're just getting ready to come out the other side of that. I feel like you're not going to be hanging out in the shadows much longer, okay? You're going to start to resurface. I think you're ready to head into more growth, okay? You did need to get your bearings for a while. I also feel like there maybe was something addictive in quality that you needed to revisit or get another look at or tap into the energy of, or maybe in connecting with somebody, you noticed this quality, something that felt like an addictive quality. It reminded you of something you'd been through in the past, and you're like, I think I need to pull back a little bit. This could have been happening on both sides. Like I was saying, trauma bonding in some cases. I feel like whatever this matter is, it has like deep, like root cellar past, you know, for one or both of you. All right. So there's something here that there maybe needed to be a timeout. It's sort of like, okay, we came together initially, we got this momentum going, and wow, that was really intense. It stirred up a lot. So now we need a little space from each other to integrate that. Okay, now we feel ready to dive back in again. Okay, let's dive back in again. And okay, you know, it may be like that for a while. You've got to trust the flow of healing. I think that can be really healthy, especially if you're dealing with something loaded. You have periods where you drop in really deep with each other, you process stuff, and then take space to integrate it on your own. So you can come to your own perspective, you know, and it doesn't have to be an argument. It never has to go to that place. There's a way that you can really respect each other's need to have space without it threatening the connection. Somebody here that you're dealing with really fears abandonment, like they get really freaked out around abandonment. And something about this situation really activated their abandonment issues here, okay? Yeah, I feel that really, really strongly here. Okay, somebody really had their abandonment issues activated and they moved into like self-preservation mode. That's what I got, okay? So it's sort of like a basis of this matter of what needs to be addressed here. I also feel like this is sort of like soul integration, calling parts of yourself back, calling back your power from places you left it behind in the past. In extreme cases, calling back soul parts, okay? Some of you entered into therapeutic process. Some of you have been getting counseling, maybe for the first time in your life. You needed somebody to just witness your side of the story. Maybe you feel like that space hasn't really been held for you, okay? Or somebody else had to go through this process and you've had to be strong through it. Maybe you had to risk it all, risk your connection with this person so that, you know, they would do what they needed to do to save themselves. That might have been very hard for you, especially if you're somebody who tends toward more kind of like enabling without meaning to, you know. That might have just been something that, you know, you saw mirrored in an important relationship in your life, or maybe a relationship you went through sort of put that pattern in place. It says authenticity here. 30/30 on the clock. That's better than having 20/20 vision. That's getting a little spiritual insight into this situation, okay? There's a need for transparency in this situation. Without transparency, there's no moving forward. And I also feel like there's this quality in this connection where one or both of you can see right through any kind of BS, any kind of pretense here. And so if somebody's not coming correct, and if somebody is like putting on an act, or somebody isn't being honest about what they're feeling or their intention, or maybe a history in a situation, maybe there's a lot that hasn't been spoken about that does need to be ironed out, straightened out. Somebody here wants to try to like make that stuff just kind of go away, okay? They might be wanting to make it go away through opulence, okay? They might be coming in with a real like showy display of affection. They might be coming in laying it on real thick. They might be finessing. They might really be like upping the riz factor. They might be, you know, spoiling you in some way, spoiling you with gifts or pampering you or just doing the most. And in some cases, this hasn't even come in yet, but you've seen this person behaving in this way, almost like, you know, to kind of like make it appear, maybe, you know, it might be sort of a false way that they feel like they can have power. You might not realize how insecure this person feels, that they do that stuff for show, all this kind of like status stuff. So, you know, it gives them this false sense of empowerment. Maybe they feel insecure around you, or vice versa. You both may feel this way. But I do know that all the BS needs to go away in this situation. You need to be real with each other. And if somebody is like catfishing the other, using fake accounts to try to get information, or sending friends in to get information or talk on their behalf, it's like that won't work either. Somebody here needs to be transparent, you know, no games. This is like super important in this situation. The authenticity piece cannot be ignored. All right. And on the other side of that, yeah, I love this. Okay. If you do this, you know, it brings about a cycle of joy by the fall. You know, that's right in alignment with the download as it came in. Rejoicing in the present. So really focus on the journey, the unfoldment. And when it feels rough, because I do feel like there will be kind of like challenging parts in this. It looks like it's some kind of healing process where it starts to feel like a little rough, or you start feeling a little uncertain, or you feel like you're going to go back into old patterns. I feel like the key is really just coming back to the present moment and remembering where was the situation at when it was at its worst, okay? And that can help give you perspective about the progression, and that this has actually been healing. It may just be working on its own timeline. It may not be going as fast as you would like it to. Some processes can't be rushed. Enjoy the growth process. See the beauty in the growth process. See the beauty in the evolution that is unfolding now in your situation. I feel like it all starts in Leo season. And the more that you just sink into that and the present moment, instead of worrying about, well, where's it going to end up ultimately? Instead, well, where is it right now? What's showing up right now? How can I really lavish in this present moment? You know what I mean? How can I find the richness, the luxuriousness in this present moment? So reclaim opulence, you know, view it in a new way. It doesn't have to be showy. It doesn't have to be pretentious. It can be a state of being. It can be an embodiment. Just sink into the present moment and the richness of your journey and how far you've come, especially even maybe in some cases, just to be able to have a door of opportunity to open up with this person. It's interesting because today we got the spider back on the web outside. Big Mama went missing. Big Mama's back. So I do feel like you're actively heading into this creative time where You are really weaving your web of creativity right now, of connectivity. You're expanding your networks, you're reaching out, you're building community. And this is about you really using your fire, okay? That fire of transformation. Also, fire is action, the actions you take to bring about the new world you want to see into being. So this is really aligning your vision with how to move forward. And big Alphaba vibes, you know? Maybe you are a bit of a rebel. Maybe you are somebody who does things a little bit differently. Maybe some say that you're playing with fire, but you know that you must take action in a certain direction in order to be true to your path. I think you're being very present when you take this action, whether you are reciprocating this communication or whether you are receiving it. Okay? It's half and half. I mean, either way, you will be, you will be issuing communication and response, even if you're receiving it. So it works both ways for both of you, really. Okay? But there's something about this connection when it comes together. It brings the ability to transform what's been a set of circumstances that's kept a lot of creative potential locked up. Okay? It allows it to shift. Okay, let's get some tarot on this just to round this out. Look at that. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups. So this is some kind of fulfillment that was hoped for. All right, let's hear some more about this and see if there's anything to be mindful of moving into this. I mean, it just sort of has the vibe of just being really present, paying attention to how you're feeling. Allow yourself to really consider your words when you issue this communication or when you receive this communication. That part's super important, all right? But where you thought there was going to be disaster or maybe some kind of rift that could never be repaired, I don't see that that's the case, okay? You got to trust in this regard. So what is coming in here for Aquarius during this gateway of transformation that is Leo season? What do they need to be aware of? What's up ahead for them? What is coming in for Aquarius? Okay, King of Wands in reverse. You could have been dealing with the King of Wands in reverse. You could have been dealing with somebody who is very much like my way or the highway. You could have been dealing with the fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Those of you that are Leo risings, there might have been a period of time when you were only thinking about what worked for you. Okay, maybe somebody thought you were being selfish in this situation or a bit bullheaded, you know. It's possible. When you got the King of Wands in reverse, that's usually a pretty selfish energy. So I do feel like that might have been something that stirred up a fight in this situation. Somebody was either too controlling or it was all about them and what they wanted. They didn't think about how other people were being affected in this situation. Also with that lizard energy in reverse, there could have been a fair share of just sort of like fantasy thinking in this situation, delusions of grandeur. This could just be sort of that smoke and mirrors, you know, kind of energy. Somebody could have been dealing with some kind of addiction. There could have been some distortion on that level that just really caused things to go south in this situation. Okay, so this could be who you're hearing from. They could also be, let me see, they could also be a Gemini rising. An Aquarius rising, or Libra rising. Okay, so you could be dealing with any of these characters too. I was just thinking of the Descendant sign since there was so much mirroring energy going on here. All right, there's something that you're bringing to completion here, and it does come through this message. Wow, okay, fire sign energy again. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, strong Sagittarius energy there. But we also have the world here. All right, so something is being brought to completion. And once this is brought to completion, there's success on the other side. There's a way through. The road opens and you get your new beginning. You open up that new chapter with the spaceship where your soul family starts to come in. There's healing in an important connection. It takes time, okay? don't expect overnight results with this. I do feel like this is laying down the foundation in the proper way, you know, creating a safe space to work through whatever this is. I do feel like there's something to feel really good about once you hit that full moon in September, okay? It's like near the end of September, right before we head into Libra season. You could be closing cycle with a Leo. You could be closing cycle with a Taurus, with a Scorpio. You don't have to be. But what we know is going down here is where there was too fixed of a position, or somebody was too set in their ways, or they were only thinking about what they wanted, and there wasn't this mindset of, okay, how can we work this out so we both feel like this is fair or balanced? That's just not going to cut it anymore. Like, the time for that is over. Everybody in the collective, don't matter the sign, needs to move in such a way where we're able to go with the flow, where we take on more of that mutable quality, where we are willing to think outside the box and be open to different perspectives and look for points of connection and understanding. Again, it's the template for the new way, the Aquarian age. So you are leading the charge in regard to this. I feel like you're rebelling against this sort of like holding pattern here, and you get to the other side. All right, so this is good for this energy to come out here, and it does come in through this news. All right, let me see any other details about this news. Whatever this news is, it compels action. Okay, there's no like sitting around thinking about it. It's like, no, let's move forward. This feels right. Again, it takes a little time to get there, but it does come through. This definitely with the soulmate, and could very well be a past matter. I feel like the problem has been there's been a sense of inequity here, where two people felt like they were really at a disadvantage. And one person was sort of like just breadcrumbing a situation. Could also be having too much power over two, having too much power over two's south node. Okay, so two who were caught up in the south node, two who were caught in a karmic cycle. Two of may have been caught in a karmic cycle by somebody who was misusing power in this situation. That we got the Queen of Cups to the Page of Cups, okay? So yeah, there could have been something a little sus going on here. Could be dealing with water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, in regard to that, right? There may be somebody who comes in that wants to sort of maybe perceive this communication that you're going to receive, that something feels a little suspicious. You might sense some illusion there where you do. I feel like there's some kind of communication that comes in that clears things up. Also, I feel like trust your intuition, where you feel like, no, there's certain things I shouldn't share. You should keep them to yourself, okay? So this might be somebody coming in who wants to know what's going on because they want to sort of understand which way the scales are tilting so they can take action to tilt them more in their favor. There's some soulmate relationship that's as the basis of the matter here. And you could be dealing with a situation that has its roots in the past, okay? This could be a family member. You could be dealing with a mother or a child in this situation, maybe a baby's mama, okay? There could be something that's needing to be balanced out in this situation too. Maybe somebody's had too much power in a situation that's been causing complications. I feel like whatever that is, something's being straightened out there. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, 6 wands. That'll be overcome. Okay. There's no real issue there with ironing that out. All right. So I just say where you feel like somebody's wanting to know too many intimate details, or you feel like they don't really play a role in a certain conversation, you should create respectful space around that. This could be part of what's caused a problem in the past. Just coming through. Okay, cut the deck to round this out. Ace of Swords, that's the truth, okay? So there is some kind of truth being communicated here with that on this side. It's like the light was wanting to dim out a little bit. This truth is coming on through. I think you already arrived at this truth back sometime in the winter. And I think you knew what you needed to do to set things straight. Maybe you've been, sort of putting things in place to prepare for this. I feel like this is some communication coming through. It's truthful, it's direct, it's spoken with love. All right. And there's something about this that does change a situation where there was a lot of imbalance and not knowing, is there any way to get these ships to come in? I think you've been dealing with a really imbalanced situation for a long time. But again, somebody wants to reverse this. It's going to reverse really swiftly. Look at this. We got the Knight of Swords coming in with the Eight of Wands. Okay, so this is somebody really expressing a lot of feelings. I do feel like these feelings are really big. I do think this communication is back and forth. I don't think you should rush ahead impetuously with it, especially during a Mercury retrograde cycle. This person may really reveal themselves in such a way that they never have before. It might take you back. It could be easy to get swept up in that, or the way they come in is really, like I said, opulent, showering with gifts, really just laying it on thick, putting on showy displays of love. But there's something here about don't be so quick about it. Yes, reciprocate, but there needs to be the proper rhythm established here. I really feel that, okay? Give it 8 weeks. Give it 8 weeks. Once you get to the end of September there, then I feel like that's when it really moves forward, okay? But until then, you would be very wise, okay? Very wise to just, be mindful of what you've been through in this situation with the tower there, because I do feel like you went through a serious tower in this situation before. And that's why you're on guard a little bit. And you don't want another one of these situations, okay? So you've got to feel safe before you can move forward with this, and so do they. Somebody is really burdened by this, and they need to have the time to move away from, this kind of influence, these illusions that have been kind of like clouding their focus or creating confusion, or have them shadow boxing in this situation. Or maybe they're going away to go through a process of recovery, and they're letting you know this. Somebody here does want to make things right, okay? And I do feel like if you're willing to learn, and if you're willing to, move through this situation in such a way that you take your time and you focus on fulfilling your own needs rather than moving into like any kind of like co-signing situation where you're, trying to fulfill the needs of the other, or you go back to that place where, things are out of balance in such a way, all right, needing to have all the control, or vice versa. I think you can move through this, but there is something that does need to be overcome here that kind of is creating some sense of confusion before this strong action can be taken. It's something that continually hangs up this connection, this situation at the crossroads. And it's time to really get clear about this. I feel like it's in your head, okay, with the Hanged Man here. This is, having the power to change a situation, but telling yourself you don't. Could be dealing with the Pisces in this situation. Or this is like feeling like a victim, like you don't have any ability to affect any change here, and maybe blaming somebody else for why things are the way they are. No, you have the ability to set yourself free. You don't need to hang out here any longer. And I do see you doing that and taking a strong action forward once you hit September, all right? And there will be growth from it, right? This is a very powerful action. It births new beginnings in your life. I do feel like there's somebody here that may feel like it's a little sneaky, it's a little dirty pool, that you employed some kind of strategy here with the Seven of Swords, all right? They may not realize that you put down, you took down the blocks you had with somebody. So in other words, maybe you had a disruption in a connection. In the meantime, somebody else, has come into your life, or was playing the role of an advisor in your life, or has, had a lot of say about the way things balance out here or something. Could be a mother in some cases, all right? Could be a lover, could be a baby's mama, it could be a number of people, a number of, scenarios here. But you had blocked off an energy because you had a falling out with them, right? But this is you kind of like lifting blocks and starting communication with somebody, while the other thinks that you're not in contact with them at all. Okay, I see that because we got King of Cups here, and we got the High Priestess after that. All right, and right behind that we have the Hermit. Okay, so this is definitely like we meet under cloak of night. It is. It's like getting the healing process going in a connection before somebody finds out that you lifted blocks. All right. I mean, I got to deliver it the way it's coming in. There might be a need for that, though. There might be a need for some kind of discretion. Okay. We've got the Queen of Wands here. Again, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You're definitely dealing with fire here, man. And with that, look at that. Yep. These two aren't on the same page, though. Check that out. Okay, so this is a Queen of Wands and a King of Wands who are not in harmony with each other. And so that's why this needs to be done, you know, on the down low or done more subtly, because otherwise something really could stir up that would be quite combustible and could cause problems. I think that's why there's this like measured approach. That's the way it's coming through, okay? You can't like rush this. It could get really volatile. There's somebody here that could be activated and it could cause a major problem, right? But if you just let it roll out, you take your time, you trust the timing, you don't try to rush too fast. I feel like this is going to balance out in the best way. Just don't try to be opulent, all right, in the showy, pretentious sort of way, or that could backfire. And don't be drawn in by somebody coming at you that way. Demand transparency. It's key.